Football previews and pick'ems. Hold tight as we preview this week's games with in-depth analysis and opinion and a flavor all our own. Bragging rights are on the line with the Neutral Zone Pick'em trophy up for grabs. It's the Neutral Zone. Lace them up.
It is the Neutral Zone, and I'm gonna say this right now because I was thinking about trying to get it, but maybe my man Casual he can grab the standings before we get deep into this. So I'll give you a few minutes to grab them, man. So I'll give you a few minutes.
All I gotta tell you is I'm last. You not.
It's all good. So if we don't get it, then we don't get it. But we do this every week here on KSRNAZ.com. I say that because if I don't, then Casual E doesn't speak to me for a few days if I don't do it. But I am your co-host, Javon J. Love Adams, and we are a panel of four. We're missing one member, which is Sean McConnell, but we do our thing, and we're blessed because Ed Smith decided to grace us with his presence because sometimes
I was here last week too. Don't give me that. I did pull up the standings if you need them.
Oh,
cool.
Of course you pulled him up. Of course you pulled him up.
Sometimes, we don't know if Ed's gonna feel like hanging out with us and everything, kind of like Kobe with his teammates back in the day. Those Laker fans will know what I'm talking about. But this is our version of the football pick'em show. So we do this every Thursday, and so what we do is we break it down with four segments. So I'm joined by the one and only Casual E, and of course Ed Smith, our resident NFL veteran, doing his thing. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, we are missing the one and only Sean McConnell. So we break it down into four segments. The second segment is always about the Cardinals because we, at our heart, at our core, we are an Arizona Cardinals show. So the first, so if you don't like the way that the show flows in terms of the segments, blame it on me, the gap tooth dude with the black hat on. Because I like to just kind of, it's from my mind in terms of the way that the games kind of how they play out. And so then of course the third segment will be the second tier of games, so to speak, and the fourth segment is always our rapid fire segment as we go through. So we have a good time with this. So Ed, if you would be so kind as to let us know, I know, and I'll be the first one to tell you, the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've had my youngest son, and he's done a better job than I would have done at picking the game. So he's picked last week. He had a little bit of a hiccup. I said, son, you gotta pick it up. And he said, Dad, we're going 14-0. I said, ease it up, dog. But anyway, so let us know kind of where we stand going from the bottom and working our way up, if you'll be so kind, Ed Smith.
Well, we all hiccuped all over ourselves last week. You three all had 7 wins. I had 6. That was a rough one, bro. Right now, bringing up the real Casual E with 72. I've slotted myself in the third spot at 76. Jay at 77, riding those Raiders and a couple other those lovelies he tries to get on. And then Sean leading the pack at 80 right now. So we're all in striking distance for the most part. Earl, you better bring it up, man. You don't be.
I just got my picks in tonight too before that Packer game.
I ain't gonna lie, because I'm gonna let when I let my youngest son, when I let him know kind of where we are, I'm sure he'll be smiling and all that stuff. So for sure. So this week, just so everybody knows, the buys this week are the Eagles, Rams, Browns, and Bengals, and I will be letting everybody know as we go through everybody's picks. I will be letting everybody know because Sean did send me his picks, so to let everybody know what Sean's picks are for this week. So let's start off with, I think, a game that's interesting, if nothing else, because it's in the division. Seahawks at the Bills. We know that the Cardinals will be facing the Bills here in the next, I think it was next week, we'll be facing the Bills. Yep. But the Seahawks at the Bills, Russell Wilson, let Russ cook. Everybody heard about the stuff with Russell Wilson paying $1 million a year just to get his body right. Man, if I could pay somebody $10,000 a year to get my body right, it'd be all right. I'd be doing okay. But so your thoughts on this one, as this one is going to play out? I'm thinking that when it comes to the Bills, I think when the Seahawks coming into town, man, they might not be ready for what Russ will be able to do with Metcalf. And I'm not sure why is the primary receiver for the Seahawks failing?
Vaughn? Oh no, you're talking about DK Metcalf.
No, Metcalf, but then also
Tyler Lockett.
Yeah. That's the one that you got to watch out for. So let's get your thoughts on this one. How you think this will play out, Casual E?
Man, I looked at this game a little bit and looked at Buffalo's rush game last week. 38 carries, 190 yards, 3 touchdowns at 5 yards per carry. That is what's going to beat Seattle. You have to run the ball exactly that way with Singletary and the other running back they have, and keep Russell on the sideline and have those long, drawn-out drives that keeps that offense on the sideline. That's the recipe for beating Seattle. Don't allow them more possessions to score touchdowns, because they will score touchdowns on you. Josh Allen has regressed as a passer big time. Since the season opened up, he lit
Is it
up.
pressure? You think it's pressure that comes with that?
I think personally, I think it's just better defenses he's been playing. Because in the beginning, it was just a lot of cupcakes, and he's feeling good, and nobody was really putting no pressure on him. And he hit a couple of snags with the Chiefs and Titans, some good defenses he ran up against, and all of a sudden he can't pass for touchdowns for the last 2 weeks. He can't throw a touchdown pass. So, I mean, he's going to face another pretty good defense as far as run stopping, I guess, but he should be able to pass the ball all over the field against this Seattle team. But can he is the question. Can he is the question. So
Right.
this will be his 4th game in a row passing with a passer rating under 90. So he's struggling right now. He is struggling big time right now. And, of course, we know Russell Wilson has no problem throwing the ball and throwing touchdowns. He's got 26 right now at 120.8 rating right now, and he's first in the league, and that's why everybody's talking about MVP and all that stuff. But, yeah, I'm going to take Seattle in this game because they can score more points, pretty much.
And Sean has the Seahawks that he picks. So Ed, what do you have in this one?
With Josh Allen, I'm not sure of how much it's pressure than pressing. I think he's pressing a little bit.
Interesting. Okay.
Trying to be a little too fine with what he's doing. I kind of, you know how I feel about the home team. Seattle making that long trip across to Buffalo. Weather, we're not sure what it might be, but they're used to that being out in Seattle. But for this one, I like Buffalo's defense getting back on track. I don't necessarily think it's going to be for, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, quarterback edge obviously goes to Seattle. But for some reason, I just got that feeling that they're going to kind of get that running game going in Buffalo. Not necessarily put it all on Josh Allen's shoulders. Let him kind of revert back to week 1 through 4, kind of. And I kind of see this game playing out a little bit of a defensive struggle on both sides, if you can call Seattle having a defense. It just feels like one of those Buffalo at home. They pull it out late, so I'm going to go with Buffalo for that reason. But I wouldn't be surprised if Russell brings his A game across all the way across the land. But I do see Buffalo winning this game.
So let's move to Saints at Buccaneers. It's the Sunday night game. What's interesting about this one is I look and check my stats here. So again, the Saints are going into Tampa Bay, and so Tampa Bay is 3-0 at home. You also look at, in terms of points scored, you have the Saints with 7th in the league, 29.4. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers 4th at 30.9. It's interesting how, just that little bit of a difference can be a difference in the ranking. But points allowed, you have the Saints at 23rd at 28.1, and the Buccaneers at 7th at 20.6. How do you see this one playing out? I have been impressed with some of the I think I've mentioned this to Ed a couple times on our radio show. We're talking about Tom and how I thought that in terms of as he gets older, and then his that arm, just not having the arm strength, and he's not throwing deep all the time. My partner likes to let me know as he uses his football acumen. But Saints at Buccaneers, what do you got in this one? It's a divisional battle. What you got, Ed?
2 older quarterbacks. We know these are 2 of the best that have ever played at the position. But it's kind of
Breeze on his tiptoes. Breeze on
them tiptoes. But it's kind of strange. You look at the 2 quarterbacks, and it seems like they're sliding down the hill at different paces. Drew right now, everything is dink and dunk. I'm watching him go up the field. It looks like he's straining a lot of times just to get the ball to the field. Everything seems like it's got to be either right in front of him or to the side. Buccaneers, Tom Brady, to his credit, has adapted to BA's offense.
Yeah.
You know, Tom spent the last bunch of years in New England without really what you call top wide receivers, and everything turned into dink and dunk out of necessity. Now you give him these weapons. You know, Gronk look like he's getting a second breath. You got, you know, all the stuff on the outside. And Brady, man, you know, me and you talked about this day. You don't have to have a rocket arm. You just have to be a little more precise for what you're doing. And I think that's what Brady's doing. Some of the balls he's throwing down the field over the top and, you know, and some of his medium range passes out to the sidelines, this dude still has it. Like I said, you don't have to be able to throw it through a brick wall. If you can break that glass, man, that's all that matters. And for me,
I hate you with your analogies, though, man.
I'm looking at Buccaneers just too much offense and too many weapons against the dink and dunk. And I know you got Kamara and all that stuff, but that Tampa Bay defense also has come to play. This one, to me, is a Buccaneers win all the way, and they might stretch this out to like a 10, 11, 12-point victory for me.
And then Sean has the Buccaneers pulling this one out. What you got, Casual E?
Last time these two teams played, it was opening day, of course, and the Buccaneers was this new team that was trying to feel themselves out and find out what they had and all these things. Now we're going to really see what they're about when they play this Saints team. Even though the Saints are shorthanded offensively, they're still a good offensive team. But you're right, Ed. They have a defense, and they got every weapon you can think of on offense. It's really interesting to see what Brady's done with all these weapons. Usually when you get hybrid receivers like a Evans, and now you're adding Antonio Brown, some quarterbacks tend to lock in on one guy, but Brady is not locking on one dude. It's spreading around to every last weapon he has. And like you said, Gronk is waking up and starting to feel his oats like he's Gronk again. It's going to be interesting to see if AB can adapt to that not being the number one guy, because he's probably down on the third or fourth string right now coming in on his first game, because those guys that are in front of him have been there doing the job. So, but I like the Buccaneers in this game because they can put up points, like you said. Ed, they didn't do so well last week because they kind of overlooked the Giants a little bit, and yeah. They were waiting for the next big game. They were waiting for this game, and they overlooked the Giants and said, let's relax a little bit. We got to play on a good team coming up on another game on a Sunday night, so let's give our best on that night and kind of just coast in this one. And they coasted enough to win that game, but they're going to come all guns a-blazing in this one, and it's going to be a shootout again. Can they stop Alvin Kamara? Their defense has been doing pretty dang good. And the Saints, one more thing, the Saints need to do a little bit something more than just Alvin Kamara. He's got 30 dang touches more than anybody else on the team.
Something is up with Thomas, right? I mean,
yeah,
something is.
I don't know. It's got to be something mental,
as
man.
we like to say, he's not quite curling right.
It's got to be something.
Is up with that dude.
I think it's either team or keeping him away from the team for the team's own good or something. Because I don't know. I don't think he's hurt still, is he?
I mean.
They keep coming up with injuries for him.
Oh yeah, they're gonna.
He's like a dude lost in the airport. Everybody looking for him. So can we get him to pick up the white phaser phone somewhere? Damn.
He's too much of a talent to get rid of, so they got to find a way to get around it. But the season's in 9 weeks, and he's got 3 receptions. So man,
he's that dude that come into work trying to find that reasons not to work and try to get sent home. But so interesting. So let's transition to Ravens at the Colts. Interesting. I mean, total transparency. Did you see the Colts coming in at 5-2 at this point in the year? I mean, come on, man.
No, I don't think anybody
Phillip Rivers, dog. Phillip Rivers. But so 5-2, both teams coming in. The Ravens are heading to Indianapolis. What's interesting here, because we know in terms of with Lamar Jackson, we know that he can pass. He passes a little bit, but he's definitely more deadly, more has to be accounted for when it comes to his scrambling and when they were trying to have those run plays for him. And the Colts are 25th in the league when it comes to their run defense with giving up 101 yards a game. So your thoughts on this one when it comes to, I mean, this is interesting. I mean, will Phillip Rivers? I mean, what you got in this one, Casual E?
What I got in this one? What my dang on soundbite don't work. Hold up. This darn thing, man. Anyway, this is supposed to be my upset of the week.
Okay.
This is my upset
Okay.
of the week.
Okay.
I got the Colts over the Ravens in this game. And
Whoa.
it's from a defensive standpoint, of course. The defense is holding this team together. And Phillip Rivers is doing just enough not to lose games. The defense is going to do what they have to do. Of course, Phillip Rivers didn't throw any picks last week because they played the sorry Detroit Lions. Now he throws the picks when he plays good defenses. He's going to be playing a good defense. But I think that Colts defense is so good on both sides. I mean, on both run stopping and pass defending. And Lamar Jackson has not proven this year that he can get the ball downfield, man, against a good formidable defense. Have you noticed?
Is that play calling? Is that play calling that comes into
No. Let's not blame it on play calling. I think there's something up with this kid that he's not seeing the field clearly, because every good defense that he plays against, he struggles. But then when it comes to those, the easier ones, he can do his thing, and they end up looking like the Ravens. I don't know. It looked like they've digressed a little bit, too, as a team. They don't get the ball down to the receivers at all. The receivers don't even see the ball. It's all tight ends and running backs and Lamar Jackson running. And I don't think you can beat a team. I don't think you can show yourself to be in the AFC, to be on the next level playing like that. I mean, eventually you're going to start losing some games back to back. And here's another game right now. You're going to face this team where if you can't throw the ball, you're in trouble. And I got the Colts defense can do just enough to keep Lamar Jackson and them at bay and force Lamar to beat them throwing the ball, because they can stop the run and the pass. So I'm going with the Colts in this game for sure, if Phillip Rivers don't throw no picks.
So Sean has the Ravens pulling this one out. What you got, the one and only Easy?
Man, I've been riding against the Colts all year long, just waiting for Phillip to do what Phillip does.
Yes.
Picked against them last week, and they win. And I'm starting to get to that point, man, where it's almost maybe they are for real. Their defense is really solid.
Yeah. Don't say that, man, because I can't ride with Phillip.
I'm trying not to either.
You don't have to ride with Phillip.
Here's the thing. I've been relying on Phillip getting them twitchy feet and turning it into Phillip where he just throws it all around. But it's almost like watching a horror movie, a real scary movie without the sound. And when I say what I'm saying is, like, without the big crowds and all the ruckus going on and thing, Phillip's in that it's like normally you could depend on him when it's fever pitching. Man, he's just going to throw one up to you. But like I said, it's like sitting in the dark watching a horror movie, but you can't hear it and it really don't scare you.
Right.
So that's what he's kind of really calm right now. And I'll be honest with you, when you picked him, Earl, I was on the fence. I was like, I'm going to say it. And now I'm just going to back you up, because now I'm not all by myself. And I'm going to go with the Colts in this one. And here's a true thing. I'm so disappointed in Lamar Jackson and how he's been playing lately. I actually benched him this past week for
fantasy football.
Carson Wentz. Yeah, I benched
for
him
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz against the Dallas.
Oh, yeah,
I blew that one. I didn't win anyway, regardless of who played either one of them.
Right.
But I'm just saying that's how down I am on his play so far this year. It's predictable. If you get on top of him, you can force them to have to throw the ball. His accuracy and everything he's doing in the passing game stinks right now.
Plus, one of the things that made what we talk about Vance Joseph, and we'll get into this in the next segment. But when it comes to the defensive side of things, but when it comes to the offensive side of things with the Ravens, it seems like the offensive coordinator abandons the protocol, the plan, the scheme whenever they get behind, and that ends up kind of rearing its ugly head. But
it helps for the Colts as well too, because remember in L.A. everything rolled on Phillip Rivers. It was everything he did, everything had to roll on him. The passing game, they didn't have much of a running game, so he had to throw the ball 45, 50. Now all he is a game manager right now. He's playing off that defense. They're not asking him to do the same thing he did in L.A. They said, dude, look, you don't have to force the ball. We're going to play field position because this defense is going to get us some turnovers. And they've been playing field position. The defense giving them short fields, and all he got to do is hand that ball off and do their little thing and just deke and dunk. And he ain't got to force nothing. So they're for real, man. They're for real. That's playoff football for you right there.
Whatever, dog.
I'm telling you.
Whatever. I don't believe that. So this is the end of the first segment. We're going to come back and we're going to talk in depth about the Arizona Cardinals and their matchup against the Miami Dolphins as they head into State Farm Stadium. So we're going to take this break and we'll be right back.
You are listening to the Neutral Zone right here on the hottest internet radio station on the web, KSRNAZ.com.
I swear, man, I think Casual E be hanging out with me. That's why I got that. It sounded like G-Funk. And Warren G or Dr. Dre was like creating that beat. That's what's up. So he be hanging out with me too much sometimes when we go out, and he helps me with one of my businesses. He helps me out, and he, bumping all that stuff. But so I want to ask you this before we get into this matchup, because we're coming off the Arizona Cardinals are coming off of a bye week. This is one of the things that we talked about last week. This is a perfect time for the bye. And so we have Miami coming into State Farm Stadium. All the with the metrics that are coming in, the Arizona Cardinals have the top-rated offense in terms of yards.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather have, because what I'm seeing with the metrics that I'm looking at is that in terms of points per game, the Cardinals are 8th out of 32 with 29 points a game. And then conversely, when we look at the Miami Dolphins, in terms of their defense, in terms of yards given up, they're number one. And I guess it's whatever the story is. But I'm seeing the Miami Dolphins, not being at number one. Would you rather be at the number one yards, or would you rather have the points? I'm just quick question before we start to dive into the game. I'll start with you, Ed. What, points or yards?
There you go with all them analytics. What I want is W's. I ain't worrying about no points. I ain't worrying about no yards. Yeah, like Jameis, eat them up, bro. You got to remember this too. A lot of teams, look at the Atlanta Falcons, all the yards and everything they put up.
20 to 20.
You're always playing. That's what I'm saying. You're always playing from behind, right, and you're always trying, scrambling late. Sometimes the statistics can be very misleading, like especially with some of these quarterbacks as well. You're down 40 to nothing. You got to throw the ball 60 times. Everybody would love to have Joe Burrow's stats. Really? I guarantee you they'd rather have Russell Wilson's win,
there
right?
You go.
So for me, it's all about the whole combination and everything. You got to piece it all together. I'd rather have the W's than any of those other stats.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Ed on that 100%. And when it comes to the Cardinals, give me the eye test, because I don't see what they putting down.
Man,
give me the eye test, because I'm looking at the eye test. I don't see the number one offense. I'm like, are you?
I was thinking, nah, dog.
No way.
I don't feel that.
I'm with you, man. I don't feel it. Kyler was even surprised. He's like, is that real?
Is that real? Is that true?
Is that real?
And the guy said, yes.
Yes, that's real. You're like, dang, I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that either. I mean, give me the eye test any day, and wins, of course. But like he said, numbers can definitely be misleading. And I mean, you can be the sorriest team and run the ball in between the 20s and have all the yards you want and be ranked up there in the top 10 and don't have the wins. What does it matter? So, yeah, I'm with you on that, Ed. It's all misleading.
So let's dive in a little bit to this game. So before we make our picks and all that stuff, let's – what's interesting to me is let's start with this, because I mentioned this to Ed when we believe in the Arizona Cardinals. We talked about this a little bit. Are you surprised with the performance of the Miami Dolphins, Casual E?
No, not really.
Okay. Why so?
From a defensive standpoint, not really. That's a team that's rallying behind the move they made putting Tua back there. I mean, that's how I see it. I mean, teams rally for a moment. They'll come back down to earth. I mean, at some point, they're going to see who they really are, because the kids got to learn. And when they made that change, they were playing pretty good before the change, and they're playing good after the change. And I think from a defensive standpoint, because of that coach, and that coach, Flores is the real deal from a coaching standpoint and a defensive standpoint. So I look at that and go, oh, that's real. Yeah, he's gonna take pieces and tell him do your job. And as long as you do your job, this will happen on the field, and they believe it. And I think they are a really good, formidable defense for real. But offensively, ain't nothing to really worry about on offense.
And Ed, so if you want to restate your point when it comes to the Miami Dolphins defense or their performance to this point, do you believe in them?
Well, for me, this is a classic overachieving moment,
right?
Where they came into the season, obviously just
team up with Ed Smith, man.
But they came in thinking, okay, this is not necessarily a lost season, but it's going to be a season of growth for us.
Right.
And then you come out the box and you get you a couple wins. You're like, oh snap, we right in this. But the whole time your plan was to get Fitzpatrick, to get you to 3-5 or whatever it was, or 2-5, so you could gradually roll into it because that was your ultimate, goal. And then all of a sudden now you're 3-3, 4-3 in the division. And especially because New England stepped back, the Jets are the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
You can find your way anywhere near the Bills. But this is one of those games where we shouldn't expect much from the Miami Dolphins. They've got their second game quarterback, not even second year quarterback. This dude has had no preseason.
Right.
We now have film on him, so they're going to throw the kitchen sink at this kid. If we don't come out and establish our dominance in terms of taking control of this game early, confusing him, making them play from behind, and should be a more what I would call a comfortable win. Shame on us. We saw the Rams last week. They just got sucker punched, man. That was one of those games where by the middle of the first quarter, you were like, ooh, this don't look good.
Right.
And they just never recovered. And, that should be a warning for us. But there's no reason for us with a second-year quarterback not to go in there and win this game. They're gonna give us their best effort. But like I said, their best effort shouldn't be a W against us.
I think we're going to have some rust coming off the bye week a little bit. That's just how the Cardinals always have been. A little bit of first quarter rust, and then they'll kind of get things rolling. Miami will hang in this game and make it interesting for maybe a half, and then we'll kind of – I think like you said, there's no way they should lose this game, first of all. They should win this game going away, actually, because when you think about it, Tua only on 100 yards, less than 100 yards passing. He didn't look at
92.
all. Yeah, he didn't look at all like he knew how to just fluently throw the ball downfield as an offense like Fitzpatrick would do if he was in there. I would be a little bit more concerned. But I don't see the Miami Dolphin offense going on 10-plus play drives, starting at their own 25-yard line, rolling down the field on a long drive on us. There's no way. The only way they can win this game is the same way they won last week, if we give them short fields on turnovers and fluke plays like a hit, sack, fumble, and a kick punt return. That's the only way we can lose this game. Outside of that, the Cardinals should come in here and show this team, first of all, that our offensive line is not the one they faced last week, and then second of all, they're not supposed to be on the same field with us. We're moving up in the next level in this thing. We better come out and play like it, because you let this team hang around too long, then you get beat by 3 points by Miami Dolphins at home. That would be kind of embarrassing.
Look at Casual E projecting, saying we on another level. We stepping up another level.
Yeah, we are, man. We on another level, especially Miami.
To that extent, with Miami scoring 28 points last week, 14 of those came off, as Casual E mentioned. One touchdown came off of a fumble recovery. Mm-hmm. The other was from special teams. So, one of the things that I was thinking that when Ed and I were talking earlier, just yesterday, was saying that, man, the defense has to be licking their chops when it
really?
Comes to the offense of Miami. Conversely, and so I want you guys to both cover this, when it comes to conversely the offense versus the defense of Miami. Miami, giving up 18.6 points a game. In there are other metrics that say they're the number one defense, all that type of stuff. But your thoughts on the offense of the Arizona Cardinals that should really be able to capitalize on the defense of the Miami Dolphins. I'll start with you first, Casual E.
Yeah, two things: red zone offense and Kyler Murray. That's it. That's the difference from last week. Last week they had a standstill statue with Goff standing there, and they can beat the hell out of him. That's what they did, and confuse them at the same time. When Kyler gets in that moment when he gets confused, he has another way out of that and can turn that into a big play by using his legs and keeping drives alive with his legs. On the opposite side of that, the Miami Dolphins give up 400-plus yards on offense to almost every team they play against. So, of course, we're going to roll the ball up and down the field. The only thing is going to be, can we score in the red zone? And they do an awesome job in the red zone, the Miami Dolphins do.
Is that the definition of a bend but don't break defense when it comes to the Miami Dolphins?
Both of these teams are exactly the same when it comes to defense. They're exactly the same. Okay. They got the same exact defenses. Bend but don't break. They bend more than we do on offense, allowing more yards. But we do some bending for sure. But this especially now we're gonna be missing Murphy and Kennard now. So yeah, we're gonna definitely be doing some bending. But we have done very well in the red zone on defense, and that in the red zone offense, we have been probably at the top 3 in the league scoring touchdowns in the red zone this year. And Cliff Kingsbury has been very innovative with using his play calling in the red zone. And I got to give him that. He's been using Kyler a lot more, and that's who I was for Halloween, dude. I had the mask on like this and the papers in my head.
You're a fool, man. You're a fool.
Yeah, but it's gonna be red zone offense, and Kyler Murray is the difference.
Okay, so before we get into the actual picks, Sean McConnell has the Cardinals as he's picked. But your thoughts on this, Ed, when it comes to the defense of the Dolphins, the offense of the Cardinals, and then again the offense or lack thereof of the Dolphins versus the what should be the Cardinals defense saying, man,
let's go eat.
We about to go eat.
Right.
Like I got from Rudy's barbecue tonight.
Oh damn. I had a freaking sandwich, dude. What the hell?
Yeah, now the Cardinals should be looking at chops with like I said, a rookie quarterback coming in here, especially after getting some film on him. They're going to go after him, and I like what they did. I was talking to somebody earlier today. If they were able to get into Russell's head last week, imagine what they should be able to do to Tua if they do it correctly.
Exactly.
From the other side of the ball, Miami, they took advantage of statuesque golf. And I was talking to some dudes earlier today. And I said, you know what? Seeing Kyler Murray on film is a whole lot different than once these dudes get out there to see him in real life on Saturday. And there are going to be some instances where dudes come back to the sideline. They're going to be like, damn, you see what he just did out there? And then he's going to be the difference maker, I think. And, like I said, what they see on film is going to be totally different than what, just like trying to catch a fart in the wind, basically. He's going to put it on them. And
I hate you.
I hate you. Couple of key notes in that game as well, if you don't mind me jumping in real quick. Marcus Golden is going to be making his debut again, coming back.
That dude pumps me up. I've heard him.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
I mean, sometimes when I talk to my man Ed tries to calm me down. Like, hey, yo, just calm down. When you hear Marcus going, hey man, I woke up in the morning and I had some cereal and the cereal was good.
He sound like a preacher, dude. He just keeps going. Lord. Yeah, Dolphins also have some injuries at running back, so their running game should be a little handicapped. And yes, I'm looking forward to see Isaiah Simmons get some more snaps in this game.
You mean
against
more than 5%?
A rookie quarterback?
More than 5%?
More than 5%. Yes, he should be on the field at least. I don't know, some more snaps. Let's just say that.
So I'm saying,
I don't know the ratio.
Let me throw something out there. So before so since we're talking about him, because Ed and I talked about this as well, we had a little fun with it. 15% plus or minus. What would you say?
I'm going plus. He's got to be on the field more than that. This is a rookie quarterback. He should be able to get on the field and confuse this rookie. And if anything, you better, like Sean always says, and I agree with him 100%, you better put this dude in some serious blitz packages. That's how he's going to be on the field.
Okay, so Ed, 15% plus or minus.
I'm with Earl. I mean, at some point you got to pull the
let him go. Let him go.
Yeah, you got to pull the lid off that thing, man. You can't keep that thing on itself forever.
Now, if a rookie go out there and make you look stupid, then maybe we need to dial it back.
Yeah.
but no, I think he'll be fine. I really do. I think that got him some confidence in that last game he did, and I think he'll be cool. I think he'll be all right.
All right, so is it safe to say? That everybody's going for the Cardinals in this one? Because I know I'm picking the Cardinals by 10 at least. I'm thinking 10 at least.
Kidding me. By 10?
You think that's too little?
31 to 10 is going to be the final. 31 to 10, Cardinals.
Whoa, are you kidding?
They scored 30 plus points the last two games. What's going to stop them now? Miami, please. 31 to 10, Cardinals.
27-17.
Did you say 47-17?
What, 20,
oh, I was going
27,
to say,
17,
damn,
yeah.
you are the number one offense. You think we 47 points? Yeah, 27-17. Okay.
So let's move on to the Tennessee Titans at the Chicago Bears. I want to say, Chicago Bears at the Tennessee Titans, 5-3 at 5-2 respectively. Good Lord,
there you go.
Foles, Trubisky, Foles, all that stuff.
All that madness.
Still playing so that he could play for a team. Yeah. Anyway, so I had it here because they both they winning. We know that I don't know, man. Fix my brain on this one because I'm gonna let you know that that Sean has the Titans winning this game. I'm gonna start with you first, Ed Easy Smith. You know all about this stuff. You shaking your head. You got a bald head. You got a big old milk dud head, man. What you got?
I got no confidence in the Bears at all, man. I mean, they disappointed me last week. They disappointed. You wonder at some point you got Foles out there. Could you ever even think about going back to Trubisky? It just looks that bad, though. And meanwhile, you got a team with a winning record on track to potentially get in the playoffs. And it's amazing how their 5-2 looks so different than our 5-2.
Yeah.
Titans come off a bad loss this past week. They're going to rebound. They're going to Henry all up and down the field. And this one shouldn't be even close because, like I said, the Bears can't score any points.
Man, what you got, Casually?
Yeah, Titans definitely coming in here hungry. They overlooked that Bengals team last week and got their butts kicked. But Derrick Henry is going to eat. This is going to be like a 200-yard game for him in this game because the Bears can't stop the run. They're giving up 4.3 yards per carry, allowing 120-plus to regular running backs. Can you imagine what they're going to do with this guy coming in here?
On a slight aside, so I'm going to ask you this, Ed. So I know, playing the tight end position, believe me, I'm not saying that because, man, I run, so nobody hits me when I run. So, but what's the most bruised up that you felt at the end of the game, and what compared to what you think or what you project that the Titans running back would feel at the end of the game, just running up the middle and getting hit and all this type of stuff when you sitting in the cold tub and all that stuff. I mean, what's that like when you getting hit so much in a game? I've always wanted to ask you that, man.
Hold up before you answer that.
Ain't nobody hear that.
You can't hear shit? Oh, my bad.
Was he playing?
Time to talk to Mr.
Oh, hey.
There you go.
Bruh, I have had instances, and I wasn't a starting running back in the NFL or anything like that. I had nights where we'd finish the game and I'd get back to my hotel room or wherever, home, and I would sit in a dark room with no lights, no nothing, because every point of my body hurt so much, including my head, throbbing headaches and stuff like that. And I remember a couple of instances, like I said, wouldn't even turn the television on because I was in that much pain. I can't imagine being a running back where every play you are the focal point and, dudes are headhunting you. It's head-to-head combat or contact all through the game. I don't know how those guys do it. I really don't. And I see some of the hits these guys take, including the quarterbacks too. I don't wish that on anybody because I can imagine there's a lot of pharmaceutical assistants at the end of some of these games.
Right.
And if you can, like we talk about some of these dudes getting all these long massages and stuff like that, but it still doesn't eradicate the pain.
Nope.
Like I said, I'm hurting. I hurt now from some hits that I took back in the day,
Oh man.
let alone the day that you took them. So
Right.
yeah, it's something you just couldn't imagine, man.
Man, I'm not trying to belabor the point, but I mean, I see you, Ed, and when we're doing the show and doing all that type of stuff, and so I see, and I'm saying, hey, are you good and all that type of stuff, and I know you're not running for like 2,000 yards a game and running up the middle and that type of stuff. It just has to be. You have to give so much respect for those dudes that are saying, I want to be the running back. Give me the ball, and I want to be able to impact the game in a positive way, the way that these running backs do, and that has to be. You have to give credit for that.
Yeah, and you better go ahead and ride it out while you can, because that don't last that long. It's not gonna
That's
last
true.
that long. I don't
That's
think,
why I never. That's why I never begrudge
right.
a running back, especially that's saying, "Pay me my money," because you're trying to use me up as much as you can
Right.
before you move on to the next player.
Yeah, just ask
I think
Marshawn Lynch.
I've used this analogy before. These running backs, all they are nowadays are rental cars.
Yep.
And we've been on, all of us have been on business trips, and you get that
Huh.
rental car, right?
Yep.
And what do, man? You see a speed bump, you speed up, you don't speed down. That's exactly what they do to these running backs. Now you look at Josh Jacobs and with the Raiders and some of these young cats. Man,
Yeah,
I would
man.
get your money as fast as you can and as much as you can, because they are going to beat you into the ground. And then as soon as they're done with you, by the time you're 27, 28, what are they doing? We don't need them. Let them go.
Yep.
So look how fast Todd Gurley has fallen from the graces
Man,
of,
you ain't lying.
the one of the best in the game to all of a sudden now just totally irrelevant.
All those guys that were with Todd Gurley, you had Lev Bell was with him. A couple other guys that were up there, like good running backs. All have
Think about
fallen off.
Gore. Have you ever? I mean, because when you think about what I'm thinking of, he has the sausages. Played for
Campbell.
the Oilers, Earl Campbell. So he has the money that he's making on the back end because of his name and his recognition. But we've seen footage of him struggling to not only get downstairs but get out of the bed because of the punishment that he's taken. And I wonder about somebody like a Frank Gore, who's been in the league for almost 2 decades, and what that will do to him when he's trying to, after he's done playing, and or even while he is playing, and how he's trying to recuperate during the course of a game week. But
real quick, and I don't want to belabor the point,
yes,
but
sir.
I'm scared for guys like Gore and those dudes to put those long CTE, bro.
Yeah.
You think about the number of hits they take,
Exactly.
Real talk.
and it's one of those things where, I know some guys who
Yeah.
everything is fine, and all of a sudden it just goes downhill. And you think about the number of carries of Frank Gore and some of these guys have, body might still be hanging in there, but I'm always worried about this up here, man, a little bit.
Yeah, that's
sure.
definitely.
I'm with you on. Yeah, I'm with you on that for real. So let's transition the awkward transition to the Packers at the 49ers, which is the Thursday night game. And Sean had the Packers going into this one. It was the Packers. Man, it was close. It was 31-3. Fourth quarter, 14-48 left. So it's the 49ers might come back. But how did you guys see this one playing out? We know that, and this is one of those things that when I try to make my case just to be the devil's advocate on Easy Sports Talk Show, Ed is saying you don't apologize for who you beat and when you beat them,
Right.
when especially with the Cardinals getting to where they are with their 5-2 record. But the San Francisco 49ers, their quarterback, with the ankle, with Kittle, with his injuries and all these different things that are going on with the team. But it is what it is. And you got to make sure you win these games, because if you don't, then you'll be clowned for it. So Green Bay Packers, San Francisco 49ers, how did you guys see this one playing out? Let's go with you, Ed.
Exactly how it did. You got no starting quarterback. You got no Kittle. You just run down the list of dudes that they're missing, and Green Bay coming off an embarrassing loss to Minnesota. No contest. I didn't see this one going any other way than it did, and I actually feel like a fool. At the beginning of the year, I was like, you know what? San Francisco coming off that Super Bowl loss. They're gonna be this, gonna be that. Man, and you can blame it on some of the injuries, but man, they just don't look like the same team. They could go from first to worst in the division when it's all said and done, just like that. And it looks like that's where they're heading.
Casual, what you got?
I have interviewed, and you guys have interviewed former Cardinal Jeremy Bridges a lot. And
yes, sir.
I'm gonna go with what he always says. Shame on the NFL for this game even taking place tonight. NFL's gonna get that freaking money. That's what JB keeps saying. He said, don't worry about asking any questions about should the NFL do this for COVID. Then know that they're going to go as business as usual, and they're gonna make their money. If Aaron Rodgers gets hurt in this game doesn't happen tonight. They look at this 49er team and go, it don't matter. They put on the show. This game shouldn't even happen tonight. This team doesn't. Do you know there's not one player on this 49er team that was on that Super Bowl team last year? Not one in that offense right now that was playing tonight. Not one player played tonight from that Super Bowl team. Not one. That team was just depleted in injuries. And then the COVID-19 thing, when it broke out, I thought for sure this game wasn't happening tonight. It shouldn't have happened tonight. But NFL going to do what the NFL does. This show must go on, and here we go. We got this game, and it's like this ain't even a game. This is like a practice for the Green Bay Packers, man. Shame on the NFL for putting this game. They could have bounced this thing to Tuesday or Monday and given the 49ers a little bit of chance to get somebody back. It wasn't even a game, man.
Too much like right. Too much like right.
Well,
let's move on to the Panthers at the Chiefs. So the Panthers.
We have to?
Really?
Yeah, we got to, man. That's why I said in the third segment, man. So the Panthers coming in 3-5. The Chiefs 7-1. Just to give you, because Ed loves these statistics, just to give you some stats. When we look at the Kansas City Chiefs coming in, they're at 31.6 points per game at second in the league. And conversely, the Carolina Panthers are at 22.4. So we'll just stop there. But your thoughts on this one coming in? I went to a brewery the other day and I had my little Raiders mask on, and there was a Chiefs guy in there, and he was trying to act like he was trying to. I gotta fight this Raiders guy. I mean, I'm a big black dude, so he don't want to fight me. But anyway, so what you got in this one? Easy.
Ain't no way Teddy Two Gloves and the Carolina Panthers coming there and keep up with that Chiefs offense. What I like about the Chiefs, man, they got wrinkles upon wrinkles. They look like one of them Shar-Pei dogs, man. They come out and give you something. I'm serious. They come out and give you something different every single week.
Yeah.
And, the underhand passes and this, the shovel passes to the tight end. And
that's your boy Andy Reid you don't like, but that's him.
Yeah. Hey, if I saw him, I'd have to turn my head and walk by him, but I got to give his props tonight. Yeah, Chiefs all the way in this game.
What you got, Casual?
I really don't even care about this game. I know the Chiefs going to win. I want to see the Chiefs against the Steelers this year. I want to see that playoff-wise. Okay. I want to see how that's going to look, but I know that's a long way from now. But, yeah, this is going to be a Chiefs blowout. But I like that the Panthers are getting McCaffrey back. I want to see how that looks, what they end up looking like when he's back. But it's going to be a Chiefs win.
And Sean had the Chiefs in this game. So let's move on to the Raiders at the Chargers. Herbert, one of the things that frustrates me or annoys me, I think annoys is a better word, is that when you get a couple of quarterbacks like a Joe Burrow or Herbert that seem to come in well equipped, be able to adjust well to the professional level, to the NFL, and then they try to apply that to all other quarterbacks. I think that's a very flawed way of approaching it, because not everybody has the same learning curve, or short. Some people have a little bit of a longer learning curve, and they're still very highly successful. They just might have a longer learning curve. Some have a shorter learning curve, and that's the thing. But anyway, having said that, We come in with the Chargers are at 2-5. I think my black man is going. He might black man might be losing his job. But we know that the Raiders 4-3. We know that that quarterback. I mean that coach. He ain't losing his job for at least a few more years because they be stupid to do that stuff. So your thoughts on this game coming in casually?
I see the Raiders getting themselves back on track. Last week they started to look like themselves again, even though there was a bad weather game. They still ran the ball very well, and Carr still was balanced. I see them doing that in this game, but it is an AFC West matchup, and you never can tell what's going to happen in a division matchup with these two teams. Anything can happen. And the kid Herbert, I hope the coaching staff doesn't tie this kid down and make him confused in the head, because now when you try to you try to calm him down, because you don't want to lose games. Now you're trying to tell him not to do this, not to do. Now you're kind of confusing this kid. You got to go ahead and let him just keep ripping it, because the kid has got an arm that's like, man, he is ripping this thing all over the field. But I see the Raiders as a playoff team, and I can't imagine them coming there losing to this Charger team.
Before we get to the one and only Ed, I want to say, let me look at what I have here. Sean has the Raiders pulling this one out. What you got, Ed?
Yeah, I'm actually surprised the Raiders are an underdog in this one. I think they're 1.5 point dogs.
Are you kidding me?
And they're actually 1.5 point dogs. Last time I looked, and that shocked me. That's after the Raiders going out and getting the victory on the road in Cleveland. I do like what the Chargers are doing. I really do. I don't think this is one of those seasons. I don't necessarily. They're kind of in the same boat for me as the Dolphins, where it's not expectations. We knew this wasn't going to be a Super Bowl season for them.
Right.
Even before Tyrod got hurt, now you got the rookie in there. Let's see what he can do. They're going to win some. They're going to lose some. But this is a Raiders game. If they're going to have any, thoughts of getting to the postseason, these are the ones that you must win. And I think Gruden has them going in the right direction. I think they win this one.
Jay, you said something about the black man getting fired.
Yeah.
When you look back at the Chargers' last, let's say, 3 games, they go up on teams by 10 or 17 points or more, sometimes 21 points or more. And then the coach gets conservative and tells that kid to dial it back.
Yeah.
That's got to be coaching, right? That's got to be on the coach. Let the kid keep ripping the ball, and you win the game. Now you play conservative. The kid loses his confidence, and then the other team comes back, and they've been losing games in the last possession because of playing conservative. That's coaching.
Conversely, are you scarred because of what's happened with recency as a coach when you've tried to say, all right, defense bring us home or offense bring us home, and then that hasn't happened, and so as a result, you try to say.
It's kind of unfair either way you look at it. Yes, you're right.
I got you.
It's definitely unfair, but people are going to point that at somebody, and they're going to point that to coaching. That you get conservative and you lose games in the last possession of a game that shouldn't happen. But they also forget this coach developed this guy, and this guy's looking this good because of this coach, but nobody sees that. But I hear what you're saying, man. It's really unfair, but that's just how the world goes, bro.
We got 6 games to go, and I want to ask this question because these 6 games or whatever. But Earl mentioned something in terms about you don't want to confuse your quarterback. So I want to ask you this, Ed. Have you seen a situation where coaches got into the head of a quarterback to the point where all the potential and all the skill, all of the positive things that were there in a quarterback, it could be maybe a cornerback, could be a linebacker or whatever, but because coaches really got in their head, that it messed them up to the point that they started to underperform, and then that led to the team performing poorly. Have you ever seen that type of stuff?
Oh, all the time. Yeah. It's just, some of it depends on what the organization thinks of you and who's in charge too. Because when they want you to succeed, they're going to do everything they can to make sure you succeed, put you in the best possible position. Sometimes coaches, honestly, and it's just natural in life. Sometimes, whether it's a conflict of personality or whatever, some coaches are like, well, I'm going to let him sink or swim all by himself.
Wow.
And they don't necessarily go to support you, but they will definitely put additional pressure on you. And I've seen guys fall under the pressure. I've seen some guys rise to the pressure, but it's all according to the environment. And I'm pretty sure, like with Herbert, they're telling him, I can sense they're telling him all the right things that because they honestly really do want him to be successful. He is the face of that franchise,
Right.
and they're going to groom him in place of basically beat him down. So I think he's aligned correctly, but I've seen it go the other way as well.
Interesting. Okay, cool. So let's go. Let's hit these quick hitters before we head out of here for this Thursday. Steelers at Cowboys. Steelers are coming in at 7-0. 7-0. They've had a couple of fortunate outcomes, but let's get your thoughts on this one. Sean had the Steelers pulling this one out. What you got, Casual E?
Steelers coming in undefeated and will leave undefeated.
Okay. What you got?
Steelers.
You got Ed?
Steelers.
All right. So then let's move on to the Texans at Jaguars because this is such a highly contested game. The Sean has the Texans pulling this one out. Texans, we know that that Mr. America J.J. Watt, Ed's favorite player, does not want to be a part of a rebuild. So what you got in this one? Texans at Jaguars. Ed.
He should ask for a trade and got a trade if you want to be in a rebuild because they're rebuilding like a mother right now. They stink. Jaguars stink. This is one of them games. If it pops up on my TV on the red zone, I'm changing the channel. Texans.
If you come, I'm gonna come through your crib. So as long as you're making neck bones or maybe scallops,
I might just do that. I might do me some neck bones with them rice.
I'm at your crib. Oh, what you got, Casual E?
I'm gonna just take the Jaguars for the heck of it.
Okay, that's what's up. So Patriots at Jets. It's Monday night because, I mean, why wouldn't it be Monday night? Because
how the hell did Jets get on Monday night?
New York market, trying to get that New York market. But Patriots, I think it might be a short leash on Cam. I heard an argument, and I think I leaned into this a little bit. All the other things going around that team that prevent that, when you think about the opt-outs on the defensive side of the ball, some of the injuries on the defensive side of the ball, etc. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that was stacked against the Patriots, but nobody's feeling sorry for the Patriots. But so Patriots at the Jets on Monday night. What you got, Casual E?
It's got to be the Patriots, but you're hoping that Cam looks a whole lot better and he can exploit this Jets team. If he can't exploit this Jets team and look bad as he's been looking, then look for the New England Patriots to drop a quarterback probably in the next few weeks because you know how Belichick does it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so Sean had the Patriots in this one. And Ed, I just want to ask you. So if I roll into your crib and I'm dressed like Cam Newton at a post game press conference, can I still do the Easy Sports Talk Show?
Hey, Halloween is already passed. Okay, don't be coming up my crib.
What you got in this one, man?
Man, unwatchable. I'm hoping there's a dateline of 48 hours or something like that on, but I'll go with New England, but I can't watch this garbage.
Speaking of unwatchable, Giants at Washington. Sean has Washington pulling this one out. What you got, Casual E?
A tie.
And what you got?
I'm just going to Washington because they're at home, but that's another one of those. You can't even. Don't pollute my TV with that garbage.
Wow.
So again, the Vikings. I feel sorry for your nephew. I feel like a menace to society. I feel sorry for your mother when in that one scene. But Lions at Vikings. Sean has the Lions. What you got, Casual E?
I got the Lions in this game as well. Well, no. I think Stafford's going to be out. He's on the COVID-19 watch.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
He's on COVID-19 list. So I'm going to go Vikings because of their offense.
Yeah, I'm going Vikings just because they showed a little life last week, but that don't mean nothing.
Right.
Broncos at Falcons. Speaking of showing a little life, sometimes not. 20-20, they are the team that should have a shirt rolling around like that. 20-20, we got you. So Brian's at Broncos at Falcons. Sean has the Falcons. What you got in this one, Ed?
Oh man, there's some bad games this week.
No,
sir.
I'll go Falcons. Here's the thing: you pick them,
yeah,
they lose. You pick against them, they win. So I think in my head I'm gonna go Falcons. I might change it to Broncos at the last minute because they get me every time. But I'm gonna go Falcons out the box.
What you
Bad
got,
game.
Casual?
All these
What you
bad,
got?
all these bad games are coin flips. So this could be the standings could be could ride on some of
Flip-flop.
these. Yeah. So you just happen to pick the right one. You might be going ahead of some people in this one. But I got the Falcons. No, I'm gonna take the Broncos doing. And the Falcons doing what the Falcons always do. The Broncos going to win a game like they won last week, come back on the last possession and win the game.
So play that music, Casual E.
Yes,
so we
sir.
do this
Yes,
every Thursday around this time on behalf of the absent Sean McConnell.
Shout out
on
to Sean
behalf
McConnell,
of
man.
Casual E, on behalf of Ed Easy Smith. I am Javon J. Love Adams, and we do this every Thursday. So make sure you tell a friend about what we have going on here at ksrnaz.com. It is the Neutral Zone. And so until next time, you can.
Peace out, y'all.
Yeah.
Ed over here yawning like crazy.
Bro, it's been a long day. I fit 40s in today.
Damn.
I'm like, hey.